a family pro. So I know some of you might be a little fired up with Georgia and Alabama here at halftime. 17-7, Alabama with the lead over the University of Georgia. The first half, and things are certainly not beyond the reach of Georgia, but there are some very concerning things, of course, with the University of Georgia here at the end of the first half. We haven't seen this kind of performance from a Georgia team in a long, long time. Over 700 days since Georgia last lost a football game, and right now, but Georgia's been there before. 17-7 score here at halftime. We're just dipping in here to give you the opportunity to put your 2 cents worth in here at the end of the first half. Now, for me personally, I think Georgia just, not to rag on Bobo, but I didn't particularly like some of the play calling for Georgia as the first half went on. I mean, I know you got to run the ball, and I know the balance on offense is the thing you got to do. But Georgia, right now, well, I want Georgia to be a little better in the second half. The defense not necessarily playing really good. We know that, but Alabama's playing very well, really getting with it. So let's take a look at the first half statistics that we have. Carson Beck, excuse me, 9 of 12 for 91 yards passing. 9 of 12 for 91 yards passing. Milrow, 6 of 12 for 110 yards passing. And then you got what? You got third down and whatever it was, and Alabama able to convert third and fourth down. Very disappointing. Kendall Milton, 6 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown. Marcus Rosemy St. Jack, 1 reception for 21 yards. Georgia has 143 yards offense in the first half. Georgia had the ball 15 minutes, 19 seconds in the first half. Alabama with 171 total yards and 12 first downs in the first half. Alabama had the ball 14 minutes and 41 seconds in the first half. Just checking some of the other stats here. Dejon Edwards, 6 rushes for 20 yards. Roydell Williams, 8 rushes for 41 yards for Alabama. So what do you think? Give you the opportunity to put your 2 cents worth in here with Georgia and Alabama. Alabama leading, of course, again, 17-7. Not exactly the first half that we wanted to see, but Georgia came out of the gate, had a very good drive. Balance with the drive between running and passing. Georgia looked very sharp after holding Alabama in its first 2 possessions, 2 3-and-outs, but then Georgia looked very sharp, and then Alabama got it going. And the Alabama offensive line is dominating the Georgia defensive line. I think that's safe to say. And the Georgia defense is not, Alabama right now is winning, winning in the trenches, winning in the matchups, and winning on the scoreboard. Now it's 17-7, obviously. And this game is not over, not by any stretch of the imagination. But you got to think Georgia's got to do much better in the second half. Obviously, Georgia has to do much better to, to win this game. Jeff says we're in trouble. Deborah says I can't watch anymore. Now, don't give up, Deborah. I was commenting to my son as we are watching the game. It's been over 700 days since Georgia lost a football game, so we're not used to this. It's been a long time since we've had to deal with this. But Georgia's going to make its adjustments. Georgia gets the ball first in the second half, and obviously you want Georgia to go down, and you want Georgia to put a score up, a touchdown preferably. Brandon says no pressure on Milrow, and that's tough to see. No pressure on Milrow at all. He has, I think Georgia has 1 sack on him, and but other than that, I don't even know if Georgia has a hurry on him at all. And so But Milrow, I agree with Brandon. We need to make him more uncomfortable. Um, Haley says Georgia has shown us time and again that if we aren't doing great in the first half, we come out swinging. I certainly hope that's the case. I hope we have a first possession in the second half like the first possession in the to start the game for Georgia. Very good. I was wanting Georgia to get the lead first and not get behind as they have done in the last 5 games. Georgia was able to do that, but then things kind of didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to for the balance of the first half. Some of you fans are terrible. It's a 4-quarter game. I know. But Barry, you got to understand how we get. People get emotional thing. They get involved in this thing. It's kind of like that Dr. Pepper commercial, where the people go crazy and the guy's setting his stuff on fire. And then, the sheriff or whatever the guy is says, "Hey, guys, that's just the first play of the game." And everybody said, "Yeah, So, we get involved in this. We want Georgia to win. Hey, listen, we knew this was going to be a tough game. We know they can come back, but they really need a receiver to step up. Yeah, I think Lad McConkey is done for the day. Yeah, Lad was limping very, very much at the end of the first half. So I don't think you'll see Lad McConkey back in the game. Brock, I think he has 1 reception. Let me check and make sure. Brock Bowers with let's see, Georgia receiving. Let's see, Brock Bowers has 2 receptions for 20 yards. And Marcus Rosemy, Jack Saint, 1 reception, 21 yards. Dejon has caught 2 passes out of the backfield. So, all right. Yeah, we're Georgia just, we're not used to this. Bobo needs to pass the ball on first down. Yeah, I'm not an offensive coordinator, never have been, don't pretend to be. And I know the guys who are calling the game are a whole lot better than than I would ever be. You guys would have me fired in 10 minutes if I was the offensive coordinator. But I just, to be honest with you, I don't like that. You run on first down, okay, you get 3 or 4 yards, and then you run again. I want us to sling it. I want us to sling it, and but I don't know. Georgia, the guys know, the coaches know their guys. Dalen Everett is bad. He got burned on 2. Yeah. Now one of those pass interference calls that the officials made. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, seriously. But anyway, you can always fuss about that. We need to come back and win this game. It will be special. Go Dogs. Yep. Got to get Brock involved. Yeah. And you don't know how Brock's physical condition is, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what'll happen in the second half. And seriously, you line up for a field goal, and then you have somebody in the line moves. I mean, seriously. And then that you turn a 45-yard field goal, which is bad enough, hard enough, into a 50-yard field goal for a freshman kicker. I mean, seriously. I don't know, who is the whoever it was that moved, but man, that was a killer, and that really hurt. Woodring would have hit that field goal, and he had enough leg on it, just hit the goalpost. They have to get back completing passes, then the run game will work. Yeah, I always felt like, in modern day football, I always felt like you set up your run game with your pass game. It used to be back in the day completely different. You set up your passing game by establishing your run game. I think in modern college football, it's exactly opposite. But again, I'm not paid $400,000, to be an offensive coordinator. So, or whatever the case may be, I'm not paid all that. To be honest with you, I don't like to see Burton catching the ball. I just don't like to see him catching the ball. I mean, he left Georgia. Don't have any, really axe to grind with the kid, Jermaine Burton, but he left Georgia. And I don't know the circumstances about why he left Georgia, but he left Georgia. And so I don't want to see him catch another pass. Don't like that. I don't have to change here in the second half. Adjustments are going to have to be made. So we're going to have to wait and see. Now, Alabama's a very good football team. We know that. So Carson has a great arm. Let him throw. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And obviously, the Georgia offensive line's got to protect him if that's going to be the case. The receivers have got to do their job to get open, but they can do that. Georgia has very good receivers. I want to see a little bit more wide open kind of thing in the second half. But I promise you this, that I'm not going to get a phone call from Kirby Smart or Mike Bobo about what I think they should do in the second half. So that's just me rambling and me talking about what I want us to see happen. So what do you think? Here we go to the second half. Now it's Georgia. Right now, as far as looking beyond this to the college football playoff, I just got a sneaking suspicion that if Georgia does not win this game, they're going to not going to make the playoffs. I just have a sneaking suspicion that that's going to be the case. I think if Alabama wins this game, I think that's going to knock Georgia out of the top four. That's my I have a sneaking suspicion about that. Now that may not be right. I may be wrong. But I got a sneaking suspicion Georgia needs to win this game to get into the college football playoffs. Yeah, Washington, you can pretty well say they're already in. So I don't know. Well, this is hard, isn't it? Yeah, this is hard. So Georgia needs to win. Now, earlier in the day, Texas took care of Oklahoma State. And so Texas made their statement. Washington made their statement last night. So how many stops can our defense get? I tell you right now, not many. Alabama's running the ball. Milroe's running when he needs to. The Georgia defense not getting any pressure whatsoever on Milroe. Dan getting stonewalled. The Alabama offensive line is having a great game. Absolutely great game. And they're controlling that line of scrimmage. Georgia has to win. They're out because they have to show they can get the gorilla off their back. Saban. Yeah, that's true. Georgia has never beaten Alabama in the SEC championship game. So, same old Bobo. Yeah. So we'll see in the second half what adjustments are made. So not the first half we wanted to see. I'm sure the guys are, they're getting things are happening in that locker room, and the same is happening in the Alabama locker room as well. And what Alabama is saying is, let's just continue to do what we're doing, and we're good. We're okay. Georgia has to bring some disruption to the offense, and Georgia has to, be efficient. Georgia has to bring some disruption to the Alabama offense, and Georgia has to do what it needs to do offensively. So tough first half. Let's see what happens in the second half. Who gets the ball first? Georgia gets the ball first. Georgia will have the ball first. And I think it's very important that Georgia scores. Touchdown preferably. Scores when they get the ball first in the second half. We don't need a 3 and out. I'm just telling you, you don't need a 3 and out. Psychologically, you don't need it. And for the game, you don't need it. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, I'm going to go give me a halftime snack. You enjoy a halftime snack. We'll be back here. We'll be back here at the end of the game, hopefully, to celebrate a Georgia victory. So, I'll just go get them in the second half until we meet again at the end of this game with a Georgia win. Go Dogs.